Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. I'm Rich Liebig.
And I'm Mike Costanzo.
And we have topics in the world of sports, entertainment, and odd news to discuss with you in just a moment. This is the perfect meal for your mind. Every week we give it to you. Give you our little speech on as to what we think is the most important stuff to talk about. Every week, reviewing everything in sports, entertainment, and odd news. Before we get to all of that, Mikey, how are you doing? How is Costanzo country?
I'm doing good. I've been very busy as we approach the holiday season. It's just been shopping, wrapping.
It's coming up fast.
Yeah.
2 weeks. 2 weeks from
errands.
now.
Yeah. It's been, the weekends have been busier than the weeks for me, because of all the different errands to run and shopping and wrapping. And I mean, this past weekend it was like nonstop. It was just all like the entire time. It was crazy.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah. So that's basically what I've been doing. Just a lot of that. Watching some Christmas movies. I got a chance.
Yeah, what exactly?
Well, of course, I have to watch The Muppets Christmas Carol.
All right.
It's
That's
one
good.
of my favorites.
Yeah, that's fine.
We did watch a couple of, goofy D-list movies, but also...
Is it Hallmark movies?
Yeah, Jordan and my mom both like Hallmark movies. The goofy ones for different reasons. My mom likes them because she enjoys them. Jordan likes them to make fun of them, and I'm just sitting there like I'm just gonna play my Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Or play on my phone, and I'm happy as a pig in slop. I don't care. They're like, you're not watching. I'm like, I know.
Yes, there's a tactical reason why. Yes.
Why do you think I have both my PlayStation Portal, my Nintendo Switch, and my phone?
Yeah,
I've
got it all ready to go
at all times. I'm like, I am negative 10% interested in this. But we also watched It's a Wonderful Life, which is, of course, a classic.
Yep.
So just been checking out all the Christmas movies and doing a lot of Christmas-oriented activities.
Yes. I'm going to restate my top 5 Christmas movies again, just for the record.
For the record.
I'm going with A Christmas Story.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely up there.
I've had to kind of rejugger this. I'm just going to call this a Christmas Carol universe.
Yeah.
Because there's so many different interpretations of A Christmas Carol.
Like, it's conceivable that a person's top 5 is just different versions of the Christmas Carol. There's too many
there's
of
so
them.
many.
And it's all the same story, just with twists on it.
Right. So, including the 80s rendition of...
The 80s one. Are you including Scrooged in that as well?
Scrooge is another one. Yeah.
Because they're all variations. You got Muppets, you got...
I can't include those all as individual entries.
You got Patrick Stewart.
So I'm just going to go with A Christmas Carol universe. That's its own thing.
Okay. The CCU.
Right. Then I'm going, I can do Home Alone.
That's a good one.
Die Hard, which is a Christmas movie.
It is.
And National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh, we did watch that too.
I think that's
a good one.
I really can't. I can't knock one of those out of my top 5. I have to watch one. I have to watch them all every Christmas.
Not It's a Wonderful Life. I mean, I know it's like cheesy by today's standards, but you know why I like it?
Why?
This is gonna be dumb, but I like the scene where the father yells at the little girl.
Yeah,
it's so funny. If you've never watched it, there's a scene where this little girl is playing like the same 4 notes on the piano, like badly, right?
Yeah.
She's like practicing the song, while this man is having a full ass mental breakdown, right? He's like throwing crap, he's like freaking out, and then she's just do 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 do, and so finally he goes, "Oh, Janie, haven't you learned that stupid song yet?" And she goes, "Oh, Daddy," and it's just
yeah,
just like the tenor of it, the way she says it, the overacting. I'm just like, chef's kiss is just
perfect.
The perfect like 1940s, like, "Oh, Daddy."
Yes.
It's just it's like not supposed to be funny. In fact, it's really dramatic and very sad. But I just
by
something about it by today's standards, it's like
it's weird.
Yeah,
I get it.
But anyway,
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, those are all fantastic movies.
Thank you.
Definitely.
I would like to say that like number 6 or 7 is Eyes Wide Shut, because that is also a Christmas movie, and I will fight people on that one.
I've not seen it, but I feel like that's not entirely a Christmas movie.
Yes, it is. It's just a Christmas movie for adults.
But
it is a Christmas movie.
Of course. Yeah. That old chestnut.
Yes.
But anyway, so that's what I've been doing.
Thank you, Kubrick. Thank you for giving that. So,
but
our brief mention there were Christmas movies.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get more into it as the holiday season progresses. We always talk about that stuff. We could do a whole podcast on just
we've done that before, yeah.
On just the Die Hard topic, which
Yeah.
we won't do right now.
No.
But Rich, other than Christmas movies, have you been up to anything recently?
We went to Cape May
Nice.
this weekend. Yeah.
What's the shore like? I've never been to the shore in the winter. What's
Me
it
neither.
like?
This was my first time going down in like the peak of winter.
Are there people there?
Yeah.
Like,
Matter of
really?
fact, the weekends where there is like Christmas events, like tree lightings and stuff,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
packed.
Oh,
It was-
yeah, I guess so.
We went down there, and Cape May in Congress Hall, they had their tree lighting ceremony.
Is
It
that a big
was
thing? Like
mobbed.
Cape May is known for like Christmas time stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a pretty big Christmas shore town.
Is it fun? Would you what do they do for Christmas? Like
they
do they
got-
have like Christmas markets and like
Yeah, they got all the hoopla and hootenanny you would think, between
Okay.
the Christmas lightings and hot cocoa stands and
Ooh,
Christmas
okay.
shopping and
Okay.
everything's lit up and
So it's a worthwhile trek down there to check out all the festivities then.
yeah,
Make
it
like
was
a
pretty
little,
cool.
Make a little weekend out of it.
If you've never gone, I'd say it's worth to go once.
Yeah,
you know.
I've never been. I've only ever been to the shore in like the height of summer. I've
Yeah,
never
me
been
too.
like off season. So
Yeah, this is something Rachel's family does, so
That's
it was cool. Yeah, we decided to
did you take a
Do
quick dip, a polar bear plunge?
no, although I could have, which was funny because one of the hotels that had a breakfast with Santa buffet that we went to
Right.
had an indoor pool, and I was like, oh shoot, I could have.
You should have brought your
I
trunks.
could have brought my
man.
trunks. I could
You
have.
should have,
I
man.
could have gone for a little swim.
You know what would have been funny? You should have that because for people that aren't familiar, Rich is not a very beachy person. Like,
No,
you're like keep me
no.
out of the sun and the sand.
No, I don't like
but
the
I
sand.
I bet you the beach in December is your perfect kind of beach. It's cloudy.
Yeah.
It's like sub 50 degrees
Yeah.
all the time.
Yep. I don't have to.
You're out there
go
with
out on the
you're
beach.
out there with an umbrella and a chair and you're ready to go.
Yeah, it's perfect.
There's like penguins walking by. You're like, this is my kind of place.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I would say less people, but actually, when it's like the tree lighting ceremony, it does get mobbed. It's crazy.
Do they do stuff on the beach too at all? Like, what are the beaches like in winter?
Yeah, we didn't go on the beach or anything, so I guess not.
And now I'm just so curious. I just want to know what it's like.
Yeah, it was just mostly everything in town, in like the town square.
That's pretty cool though.
Yeah,
Does it snow on beaches?
yeah,
Like, is there snow on the sand?
it could be if you get enough snow.
Do you know this for a fact, or are you just hypothesizing?
No, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Especially in like stuff like The Sopranos, there's snow when they go to the
Oh,
the Pine
yeah,
Barrens
You're
and
right.
stuff.
You're
yeah.
right. Yeah, the Pine Barrens isn't the beach.
No, but I mean like other things that you would not expect to have snow on. You're
Is
like,
there too much like salt content in sand? Like maybe it melts the. Is there salt in sand? I don't know.
I don't know the science you're asking. I'm not a Dr. Jim.
Yeah, man. I came to the wrong place for these
Yeah,
answers. This
right.
podcast is not for scientific answers. It's for stupid answers.
Right. It's for news updates on sports, entertainment, and odd news.
That's right. So maybe we should get away
and
from
random
science.
Christmas movies.
Random.
Fighting to the death on Christmas movies that I will fight for.
We will do it. We will do it.
Yes.
Maybe we should get away from the science stuff then and
Yeah.
get to the topics that matter here.
All right, so let's do the first batch of topics. It revolves around sports. It's time for the Sports Sampler.
So you're not good at sports. It's a very small part of life.
Sports, 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 sports.
In your face. Ha ha! That's right. Sports coming at you in your face. Yeah. So before we get into all of the NFL news, because I know you're eager to dive into it, baseball is actually making a little bit of headlines here because they are about to start free agency, and arguably the biggest free agent signing has already happened as slugger Juan Soto decides where he's going to spend his foreseeable future with. It is New York, but it is not the Yankees. He is trading in the pinstripes for the weird brightly blue and orange in the other borough, going to the New York Mets instead of the New York Yankees, signing a ridiculous 15-year, $765 million deal. And this has sent shockwaves all throughout the sports world. I guess on paper, it's shocking that someone would turn away from the Yankees I think that's part of the decision as well, because the Yankees definitely matched this offer. The Yankees did not get outbid on this offer, but still, Soto decided to leave the pinstripes for the blue and orange. And I mean, do you want me to just dive into my analysis on this, or do you have anything you want to get off right off the top of the bat?
Oh, just appropriate saying right there off the top of the bat. But, no, it's just wild that what was just last year, Shohei Ohtani, made headlines with what was it, $700 million.
Yeah,
I think it was 700, and Juan Soto breaks that record the very next year, 765.
Yeah.
The first thing that comes to mind is just we're only like a year or two away from $1 billion contract.
Especially with no salary cap in baseball, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's
probably going to happen.
We are rapidly approaching that point in time where you're going to see, Bob Boberson signed $1.1 billion.
Over 20 years or something.
Over 20
something
years.
ridiculous.
Also, careers don't even last that long. Like, who's out here signing baseball players to 15 years? Like, he's not gonna complete this contract.
No, it's just designed to
spread out the money. Yeah, it's just insane. So that's my initial gut reaction. But I'll let you dig into the actual numbers and the actual implications here for the game, because I know there's some stuff you want to get to.
Yes. I'm gonna go with the following here. Juan Soto just messed everything up. Everything has now just been thrown out the window, and it hurts. I actually do think this is going to hurt just everybody in baseball. One, as a Phillies fan, this is horrible to see that Soto's coming into our division, and I think the Phillies window might be shutting closer than we think, because they lost to the Mets last year in the postseason, and now they just got better with this signing of Soto. So I don't know what the Phillies front office plans to do to counter this, but good luck.
If you couldn't beat them before, we're certainly not going to be able to beat them now.
It's going to be it's going to be even more difficult to try and knock them out if we face them in the postseason. So that's not good for the Phillies. But also, just on a macro scale, this, I feel like, is a blessing in disguise, actually, for the Yankees.
Yeah.
Because the Yankees, they were expected to re-sign this guy. They were expected to spend all this money on him. This was kind of their game plan, that like this was going to be their focal point of free agency. And Soto decides to leave to go to a different team. And I think this might be a blessing in disguise, because now the Yankees have all this free money that they thought was going to be tied into Soto, and now it's eligible. This is their time now to completely go crazy. They can have now $1 billion free agency spend like the Dodgers had to win the World Series last year.
Yeah. And to spin off of that point, you had said that the Yankees didn't get outbid on this. And I think
there's no way the Yankees got outbid on this.
Well,
they definitely have the pockets to match whatever the Mets were offering.
I actually disagree, but not for the reason that you think. I think that they let themselves get outbid. Because this is what I was formulating in my head before the podcast. I think they're looking at the calculus of it and going, we could spend $750 million on one guy, and you had made the point earlier that he's a great slugger, but he's only a so-so fielder.
Right.
He's, middle of the pack, kind of. He doesn't do anything too outstanding.
Right.
So if I'm the Yankees front office, I'm going, we're made of money. Like, we could do 800, we could do 900. But why would we want to when we could take 800 or 900 and spread it across 4 or 5 A- guys instead of straight A guys?
Yep, and they're already getting to work on that. Literally just before we started the record, the Yankees announced that they're going to sign Max Fried, who is the best left agent pitching, best free agent left-handed pitcher available.
Yeah.
So right there, I think their tactic now is to retool the starting lineup. I think this is a great switch of the tactic on them.
Right. And my analysis here is that I think they did it intentionally. I think that they didn't want to resign him. As crazy it is, because if what you say is true, that they can't be outbid because of the Yankees, that means that they let themselves get outbid. Otherwise, why wouldn't they offer him the world? I think it was a calculated effort. They're like, it's just not worth it.
Well, I think you might be onto something there because the Yankees are now expected to just dive hog wild into this free agency market, and they already have made their first shot now with the Max Fried signing, and I'm sure they're going to get a couple more pitchers and maybe another hitter to tag along with Aaron Judge. I think we've inadvertently doomed the next World Series or two to be Yankees versus Dodgers again.
Yeah, I think
this is very short-sighted on the Mets. This is one of those things where the Mets win the battle, but they've lost the war.
Yeah. I know part of that is probably a Philadelphia-leaning bias here on our part, but I do agree that you guys know from my conversations on football, like I don't believe in plunking down that much money for one guy because these are team sports. And yeah, baseball is a little bit more singular, but you still need the other positions. You need people who can catch, who can field, who can pitch.
And also here's something else too. They're comparing this with the Ohtani free agency deal last year.
Yeah.
Ohtani can literally do anything.
Ohtani's a generational talent. There's other sluggers.
He can actually do like 3 different things. He can field, he can pitch, he can hit. Like you're almost paying 3 different players with that contract.
Right.
Soto can only really hit.
Yeah.
So it might be one of those things where it looks impressive this year and next year, maybe the year after that. But at some point, he's going to run into a wall when it comes to batting.
Yeah.
And when that happens, this contract's going to look a little bit inflated, I think.
I mean, right now he's 26?
Yeah.
So I think the contract is really, I think it's 5 years. I think there's an opt-out.
There's an opt-out in 5 years.
After 5 years. So in 5 years, he's 31. They're done.
If he falls off the map,
It's a 5-year contract.
Well, that's if he completely falls.
I mean, I know baseball players go a little bit longer than their early 30s. I'm used to football, 30 years old, you're dead.
Yeah, it's slightly a little bit longer for baseball.
But I think that, I'd be surprised if this contract goes longer than 6-7 years. But the other thing I want to talk about, you mentioned on a macro scale, just the impact on baseball. And I think this has always been a problem. Baseball's always been a sport of have and have-nots, and it's exacerbated even more because nobody can keep up with the payrolls of the biggest 5 markets. The reason that football is such a great sport is that there's parity. You never know when some random team is going to get on a hot streak, like the Steelers this year, who we'll get to later. In baseball, I feel like that's possible, but it's more rare than not. Otherwise, the Yankees wouldn't go on to win 28 World Series.
Yeah.
The biggest market wins the most games. There's a direct correlation.
Usually the team with the biggest budget wins. And there's so many games that it kind of throws off any chance of, an outlier.
Right. And so what you do is you're creating a scenario where only really 5 or 6 teams can realistically compete. You have the New York teams, you have LA, you have Chicago, Philadelphia, Boston.
Not the White Sox.
No, not the White Sox. But, when we start getting to contracts that are $1 billion, it really limits.
I don't see Kansas City offering $1 billion contract.
Yeah, like Kansas City, Tampa Bay, even Baltimore.
Tampa Bay may not have a dome to play in.
Right,
yeah.
they might just get rid of the team entirely.
Yeah, they may be in trouble.
But
and the Athletics are playing in Sacramento for some reason.
They're nomadic.
Yeah.
But it creates a problem where, again, it's the same 6 or 7 teams that are really going to be competing year in, year out. And then what do the other teams do? They're just happy to be there, having a hot dog at the ballpark.
Yeah. So I think inadvertently, Major League Baseball might have doomed themselves to a same matchup next year and the year after it.
Is it not strange that a league that so desperately wants to stay relevant, they're making a lot of positive change with the pace of play, replay things. Then they go and they shoot themselves in the foot by not capping salaries and just letting them run away. It's going to get to a point where it's just LA and New York.
Well, that's what I think. I think the next couple of years, I think it's going to be just LA and New York. Yeah.
Right now, teams like Boston, Philly, they can still kind of compete with the salaries, but it's going to get to a point where you get past $1 billion, $1.25 billion, where that next tier of cities, the Bostons, the Philadelphias, that are like, you know what, we're out, fam. We can't do $1.5 billion.
Yeah.
Maybe the Phillies can swing $700, $800 million, but there's going to be a point where they're going to be priced out of that free agency market, right?
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see exactly how things shake out.
They got to cap salaries.
I don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately, with baseball. They've kind of made their bread and butter on this whole no salary cap here, but we shall see. And we'll see. We'll still see if that golden at bat does anything.
I'm
also,
all for it. I want the golden at bat.
Yeah. Also, one more difference between Soto and the Ohtani deal is that the Mets are going to pay him in real time. There is no deferred money. So good luck, Mets. I don't care how infinite your pockets may seem. Having to pay $50 million to one person each year is still going to drain a little bit.
And they're locked
on
in
the
for,
salary.
They're locked in for 15 years too, aren't they? Like baseball contracts are almost entirely guaranteed.
It's going to be tough to wiggle out of it. So
Yeah.
good luck, Mets. They are now in the. And hey, another thing too is now the Mets are the favored team in the National League East. So good luck. It's up to you now.
Yeah.
Although,
I don't know.
oh my gosh, yeah, I'm still just like, oh god, I think the Phillies might have just blown their chance.
There's no way for them to really compete in free agency like this.
All right, well, leaving the baseball world, let's get to football, and the Eagles pull off a win against, who was it? The Panthers? Yeah, in what turned out to be a shockingly close game. Oh, I don't like this.
Terrifyingly close.
Yeah, the Eagles eke out a win.
I mean, we were losing well through the third quarter.
Yeah, and the Eagles almost gave up a game-winning touchdown on the last drive.
Yeah.
If that ball doesn't hit the ground, that would have been a touchdown.
Man.
Yeah.
I don't know where to even begin. I was wrong in saying the Panthers are going to win, but I was only just barely wrong.
Yeah, you were almost there.
Which was really alarming. Like, I sniffed out that this was a potential trap game. We avoided the trap just barely, but is this revealing anything that's concerning to you about this team?
Well, all right. We got
Or is it just strictly like, oh, we just had a brain fart?
All right. I need to address everybody calling into radio stations and doing all this wacky stuff here in the Philadelphia area. There's two things that can be true. Jalen Hurts had a bad game Sunday. Yeah.
Yes.
He did not perform well. The passing game didn't looked anemic at best. He was not hitting A.J. Brown. There was definitely some things out of whack. However, the Eagles are still on a 9-game winning streak, and they still have one of the best defenses in the league.
Yes.
There's definitely room for criticism and definitely room to say, like, hey, Jalen's got to work on this and this. But, oh, my God, some of the calls that I've been hearing on WIP.
What are they saying?
Oh, my God. Get rid of him. Put in Pickett. Put in Pickett. He'll be better.
What's
oh
Kenny
God.
Pickett going to do?
Like, whoa.
They shipped off Kenny Pickett so they could sign an aging Russell Wilson.
We need to have, I know it's impossible for Philadelphia fans, but we need to have some sort of line in the sand in the middle of the spectrum of outrage.
What? Intellectual discourse?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, because this is ridiculous. I get it that Jalen Hurts had a bad game. I get it. Some of his reads are just atrocious. And there's definitely the attitude that he reads once and he runs. But you can work on it. That is not the end of the world. And also, I don't know what mystery quarterback, like these WIP callers are saying get rid of Jalen Hurts. Who are you going to replace Jalen Hurts with that would be better for this team?
Yeah, I think
it's not Kenny Pickett.
I think that's my biggest complaint is that, okay, say everything they say is 100% true, and Jalen Hurts needs to go yesterday. You're going to make a change at quarterback in week 15 and do what?
Not even that. Let's just say
they're still smoking the Nick Foles thing.
Not even that. Let's say we go out the regular season and I don't know, they only win one game. They're out in the first round. Really? You get rid of Jalen Hurts this offseason? Who do you replace him with? It's going to be an atrocious quarterback draft. So you're not getting a quarterback in the draft. Are you going to go to free agency? Are you going to overpay a quarterback that's going to hit the free agent market? Are you going to go with Kirk Cousins? Oh, boy, that really worked out for some teams.
If Kirk Cousins comes to the Philadelphia Eagles, I'm in trouble.
Like, I don't understand. like, I get that he's having a little bit of a funk right now. He had a bad game. But what is the end goal of these people, of these WIP callers that are calling in and saying we need to jettison Jalen Hurts?
Yeah,
There's who do you replace him with?
Yeah. That's always the thing. They're always calling for heads, but they're not calling with replacements.
Yeah.
Like
There's not Jalen Hurts is still at least a top 12 to 14 quarterback. Do you think we're going to land number 1 to 12? No.
Absolutely. You think the Bengals are going to be like, sure, here, have Joe Burrow?
Yeah,
no, like
right.
That's
we're
not
gonna
going
call
to
Joe. Yeah, right.
like,
we're gonna call him up.
Sure, I like to joke about things like that. Oh, we're going to trade Jalen Hurts or Patrick Mahomes straight up. Who says no? But that's not reality.
We're gonna
Like,
call for
that doesn't happen.
Sam Darnold when he's done with the Vikings this year. He's gonna come to Philly.
Not happening.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Listen, everybody on this podcast knows that I'm the person that probably criticizes Jalen Hurts the most. That's why we have the stupid clip where it's not the guy, you know? But
you are not the guy. You're not capable of being the guy. I had a guy, but now I don't. You are not the guy.
But that being said, you also have to understand the reality that quarterbacks in this league are incredibly difficult to come by.
Yes.
You are better off working to the skills and the talents of the players that you have rather than constantly fish around for the missing piece, because you can get caught in a really dangerous cycle there. Remember, like, late 2010s Eagles, where it was like Kevin Cobb, Mike Vick, Nick Foles the first time.
Nick Foles the first
Until we landed on Carson Wentz, and we're like, "Yay, the quarterback of the future!" And then he sucked too. You know, you can get trapped in a very dangerous cycle. Look at the Panthers, right? So my thing with Jalen Hurts is that I know he has the physical talent. Like, he has the arm, he has the legs, he has the strength, the attitude, the leadership. He has all the intangibles. He has all the tangibles. I think the problem with Hurts has always been play calling and coaching. I think that when he has good play calling, when he has solid coaching, like in 2022, you see a really solid performance out of him. And even for the most part this year, there was a string of games where he was playing really, really good football. He had a really bad couple weeks the past few weeks here. There's no denying that. But you can't look at this quarterback and say, like, we're going to get rid of him and swap in Kenny Pickett and have the same level of success.
No,
like
that's ridiculous.
That doesn't make any sense. Like, am I Hurts' biggest fanboy? No, absolutely not. But I'm also not calling for Kenny Pickett. There's room in the middle there where you can be like, yeah, Jalen Hurts is probably not Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes, but also that doesn't warrant just outright cutting him. Like, what's the option?
Trying to trade him or something? I don't know. I don't get these callers. They want him trade away. Like, what? Yeah, who's the replacement? Who just comes in and makes the team better than what Jalen Hurts is doing?
But especially at this point in the season, you're 11-2. I'm not happy with the way that the Eagles played against the Panthers. I thought that they were going to lose outright. They almost did. But at this point in the season, the division is all but won. You gotta ride this thing out.
Yeah.
You're not going to make a change this late.
No.
It's just impossible.
No. And I still don't think you make it, and you don't make a change in the offseason either. Jalen Hurts, there's nobody else you can get that's better than what you've got right now, as far as I'm concerned.
Like, I don't know, unless there's some backroom deal in the works where, like, Patrick Mahomes secretly hates Kansas City. All he wants to do is play with the team that Travis Kelce's brother was on or something. I don't know, some weird cockamamie Hallmark BS story. Like, unless that's happening behind the scenes, which it is not.
No.
But if that's the only reason that I could foresee getting rid of Jalen Hurts, other than that, you've got a top 10 quarterback-ish. You got to ride it out this year.
Yeah. Top 12. I think he's
top 12.
Top 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has definitely regressed again the past couple of weeks.
Yeah. But
there's no denying that.
But they're elements that are fixable.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world. I don't know where this is coming from, that, like, you know, cut Jalen Hurts needs to go this offseason. Like, what? No. It's ridiculous. So, all right. Yeah. Other than that aside.
That really got you fired up.
I did. It's because it's ridiculous.
Why are you listening to WIP? Don't listen to WIP.
It's just bad. Anyway, they're not the only thing that struggled. The defense had a little bit of tough times as well.
Yeah.
It seemed like Gardner Johnson kept getting hurt on every play. That's not good.
Man. I know. Look, that's one of the downsides of a really physical unit is that sometimes guys get banged up. Slay has had a few injuries.
Yeah.
Gardner Johnson, he looked like he was getting banged up.
And
Blankenship is out right now, which I think is hurting us more than we realize.
Yeah.
Not having that chemistry and that communication back there.
And it seemed like Cooper DeJean finally had his first kind of rookie game. Like he was kind of missing some tackles and some coverages.
For the first time in a long time, we had a wide receiver tear us up. Adam Thielen.
Yeah, Adam Thielen.
Basically retired Adam Thielen on the Panthers.
Giving us fits.
Over 100 yards. I don't know.
And like 80 of them came on third down. We could not stop this guy.
Yeah, that was the biggest issue. We could not get off the field on third and fourth down. We let them convert. I think it was like almost 50% of their third downs.
Yeah,
another 50% of fourth downs. And I know part of the offensive struggle is the fact that we just did not get the ball. The Panthers had, I think it was like 3 drives that went over 7.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like you're just not going to get the ball, so you're not going to be scoring. That being said, the way that the offense kept giving it back to the defense so quickly, like especially in our first quarter play, is just terrible. And I would love to see this team come out and set a
You
more...
know whose fault that is?
Is the offensive coordinator.
It's
and
coaching.
Nick Sirianni.
I'm telling, yeah. Like I hate this. There was a player. It was a couple weeks ago. He said the first 15 plays are scripted. So when a team is doing bad in the first part of the game, that's coaching. That's not the players.
You know what, though? I agree with you, but at the same time, coaching is also the adaptation later in the game, the adaptability. So it's kind of like it's a two-edged sword where it's like, yes, they suck in what they thought, like, ooh, these are really good scripted plays, but then they also excel at like finding a way to counter that. But why can't they just start good? Like why? Like
I'm going by what this NFL player said. That usually the first the first 10-15 plays are scripted.
Right.
Those are what they
that's like this is that when they talk about the game plan, that's the game plan.
Right.
Is those first 15 plays are like this is what we've drawn up specifically to combat this other team and what they've shown on tape.
Yeah.
So if we're failing there, I mean
that's coaching. That's
coaching.
Not the players.
It's great that we can adapt after the fact, and this is fine against the 3-10 Panthers, but it's not going to be fine against the 12-1 Lions, the 11-1 Lions, whatever they are.
Yeah.
Like it's not going to fly against them. They're going to go up 17 points in the first quarter, and then we're just done.
Yeah,
we're just done.
You're not coming back from that.
No, and that's my biggest fear. Is like this game shows me that we will probably not be able to hang with teams like the Lions in the playoffs. Like if we meet up with them and they're not already eliminated, that's where the ceiling is this year.
All right. Well, before we get into predictions, one more thing to mention, though. There was some good news. Yep. Saquon officially breaks Shady McCoy's single-season rushing record. Did it in just 13 games, so
that's impressive.
The extended season was not the reason why.
And he also only needs 430-some yards to break Eric Dickerson's single-season all-time record, which would be wild.
Yeah.
Do you think that they intentionally feed him the ball more to try and get that record?
I think it depends on game flow and depends on who they face.
I don't know. I just for some reason
I don't think it happens with the Steelers. I know that.
For some reason,
the Steelers is going to be that's going to be tough uphill sledding.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to them in just a bit, but I wanted to say that this team, I feel like they give the vibe sometimes that they care a little too much about things like that.
Yeah.
Like they go for remember when AJ played against the Titans for the first time?
Oh yeah,
they had
revenge games. I can understand. Yeah, you wanna.
But
rub it in.
But that's kind of amateurish. No, the kind of
that happens. That happens with a lot of teams.
What I'm saying is that I feel
it happens in all sports. It happens a lot in basketball too.
I guess
you want to, especially if a team if a team actually said we don't need him or something like that. Oh yeah, you really want to.
I'm just worried.
You crank it up to 110%.
I'm just worried that the team is going to try to find ways to shoehorn in plays or force plays because this team has been known to do that.
Yeah, that's where it can get dicey.
That's where I'm getting at. Maybe like, okay, the revenge games, whatever, but like, that there's been times last year, this year, where they're like trying to force it to guys for like a weird stat or a special record or something like that. And like, I don't know.
They do that for contracts too.
Yeah.
There's been situations where like if somebody needs 10 sacks for like a bonus, they'll try and get that guy to sack the quarterback or something. I've read stories like that. Yeah.
I feel like the Eagles are very susceptible to that, and that leaves them open. That's their blind spot. Is like A.J. Brown is complaining about the passing game. This game, they're going to go out, they're only going to pass to A.J. That was happening last year.
Well, that was happening in the last couple games. Didn't we had a thing where you pointed out that like 80% of Jalen's targets one game was to A.J. Brown.
Yeah,
like
that's what happened.
Happens.
No, that's what happened last year. A.J. Brown complained about the passing. The very next game, they force-fed him the ball like 13 times.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just saying, I feel like this team is susceptible to things like that. I don't want them to get into a situation where Saquon has to carry the ball 37 times in week 18 to try and get the extra 20-some yards, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Something about this Eagles team is bugging me after this Panthers game.
All right. Well, we need to look forward to the future. We need to forget about the past and focus on Week 15 matchups with our Fantastic Four picks. 4 games that we think you should keep an eye out for and that we're going to make our predictions on. Mikey, what are the 4 games?
Well, first up, I'm pitching it right back to you. It's Rich's pick of the week. Plus, 2 teams fighting for a spot, the Miami Dolphins and the Houston Texans, both still struggling to stay alive, potentially make it into the playoffs. Rich, what makes this your pick of the week?
All right, so in terms of talent, I kind of put Dolphins and Texans on the same level. They both have an above-average quarterback, not elite, but above average. They both have star wide receivers. They both have sustained rushing attacks. They're kind of very similar. So right there is kind of I'm kind of on the same power ranking with both of these teams here. The Texans are in a weaker division than the Dolphins. The Texans pretty much just need to keep showing a pulse and they'll win the AFC South. The Dolphins, on the other hand, though, they've lost a couple games. They can't win the division. They are fighting to get to a spot in the 6th or 7th seed. And it is looking very dicey, especially if they add another conference loss to their record. I think they're going to be more desperate in this game. Also, the Dolphins get 3 points if you're betting with your bookie, so you get points in an even matchup. And the Dolphins, for the most part, they don't get blown out. Really, most of their losses have been one-score games, except for the Packers game. That was really the only game they kind of really like lost their heads with the scoring. So I'm going to go with the Dolphins +3 as my official pick of the week. I think it's a smart play with an even matchup here. You're getting the more desperate team, and you got the +3 to see if you can sneak in a win that way as well. So give me Dolphins +3.
I will say there is some truth to what you're saying. The Dolphins are 6-7, but 4 of those wins have come in the last 5 games. They're 4-1 last 5
With Tua.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they didn't have Tua.
Right.
So,
and the Texans, on the other hand, are 3-2 in their last 5. So Texans started hot, and they've been slipping and sliding. The Dolphins started slow, but they're slowly climbing back into things. Yeah, you know what? You know that I liked the Dolphins last year. I thought that they were a really good team. I expected them to do better this year and really challenge for that division. That didn't happen, whether it's through injuries or just the outstanding play of the Buffalo Bills. You know, you can only do so much, yeah. But maybe this is where we start to see the Dolphins really start to turn that page. I agree here. I think the Dolphins always have more to show. You really can't predict what that offense, with Tyreek Hill alone, anything can happen. So yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, a road upset. The Dolphins winning there.
yep, take it.
I like it. Next up, though, we have a possible Super Bowl preview. Speaking of the Bills, the Buffalo Bills are traveling to Detroit to play the Lions. These could be 2 of the very best teams in the league right now. Rich, who do you like in this matchup?
Yeah, I hate to say it because we're in the same conference as the Lions, but it just seems like they are just winning games that they always just find a way, whether it's the offense, the defense, the play calling. They are just able to find ways to win.
They're top 10 in almost every measurable category: offense, defense, passing, rushing.
Yeah, I mean, this might be the season. All the stars lining up for this team. The Bills are also very good, but boy, they gave up a lot of points last week. A little too much for my liking. I do hope, though, a Sean McDermott-led team will put a stop to that as they get closer to the postseason. But for right now, yeah, I can't. It doesn't sound right to pick against the Lions, so I'm going to go Lions at home.
Yeah, I mean, conventional wisdom is you go with the hot hand. The Lions have been the hottest hand in football, better even than the Chiefs. I think the best team this season, just hard stop, just period. They're the best. So at home, yeah, I'm feeling it for the Lions. Going Lions as well. Although I would love to see the Bills win on the road.
That would be big.
That would be great. It would be good for the Eagles too.
Yeah.
Potential 1 seed at stake. But anyway, moving along, we have an NFC playoff preview. The Green Bay Packers are traveling to Seattle to face off against the Seahawks. Both of these teams, they're kind of right there in the middle of the pack in the NFC. Both of them expected to make the playoffs. Who do you like in this matchup?
Give me the Packers in this one. The Packers, I think, have the slightly better roster, but also the Packers have had more time to rest because they had the Thursday night game last week, so they should be a little more rested than Seattle. Seattle coming off of a very intense win against a division rival.
Also, Seattle's division is much weaker than the NFC.
It's all over the place.
It's all over the place.
It's so inconsistent.
And Seattle is the prime example of how inconsistent that division has been. I feel like every time we go to pick one of these division games out of the West, it's always like, I don't know, flip a coin.
Yeah.
Like San Francisco, they're dead last in the division, still technically in it.
And then they put up, a 30-point lead on the Bears.
Yeah, 30-some points against the Bears. The North is much tougher, so I actually really like the Packers. I think if they were in the West or the South, they'd be in the same position, same conversation as like the Lions and the Vikings. They'd be a 10-plus win team at this point.
Oh, yeah,
so
they'd be leading the division.
They'd be leading the division easily. So I'm going Packers against the Seahawks as well. And finally, it's time for our very own hometown Philadelphia Eagles with an in-state rivalry. The Pittsburgh Steelers are coming to town. Rich, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't like this matchup. I don't like this for the Eagles. The Steelers have one of the very best run defenses in the league. That could stop Saquon and force Jalen Hurts to have to throw the ball a lot in this game. And I think with them being in a little bit of a funk, yeah, this is not the side I would want to place money on. And I think, too, even though they are both Pennsylvania teams, they're in different conferences. They don't see each other a whole lot.
They don't really know each other that well.
Yeah, so I don't know. Wacky things can happen whenever you have those kind of games. Yeah, I'm going to go Steelers. I think this ends the winning streak.
This is the game that the Eagles were looking forward to when they almost lost to the Panthers last week. The problem with trap games is this. If you fall for the trap, you turn around and you completely bitch slap the next person that comes across. But we won. And that continues the false sense of security. Because the Steelers match up really well against the Eagles. They have a top 10 rushing team. They have a top 10 rushing defense as well. What does that create? A scenario where the Eagles don't get the ball once again. We almost gave it up to the Panthers using that same strategy, and the Steelers are much better than the Panthers. If they can replicate that, they can create those 8-minute drives. This is a win for the Steelers.
Yeah, I don't like it.
It's a bad matchup.
Yeah.
It's a bad matchup.
Yeah. And also, I think Steelers getting points. So, I guess kind of my unofficial play of the week. I would look at Steelers plus the points.
Yeah.
I don't like the idea of the Steelers. I don't like the idea of the Eagles laying points against the Steelers.
Yeah. It's just this game. just gives me bad vibes. Like
Yeah.
I said last week that it was a trap game because they were looking forward to this. They snuck out of the trap, but that, again, I feel like that feeds their mentality that they can't be touched. And I hope that they come out of that like daydream at some point, because maybe this game is the game to do it.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go, folks. Our fantastic 4 picks for Week 15. Unfortunately, not looking good, I think, for our hometown Eagles. I agree. I think if I had to just do a blind assessment, I would have made this a pick 'em. So the fact that the Steelers are getting points, I would definitely look at the Steelers plus points.
Yeah.
And even in the teaser, extending that up, I think that's a smart play.
Oh, yeah.
I hate to say it, but hey, maybe they'll prove us wrong and they'll win their 10th game in a row.
I'd love it.
No,
Oh.
Wrong closing music. We're closing the first half of the show, not the second half of the show. There we go, soundboard. Very good. We're getting our halves mixed up.
Like
Like the Eagles.
I wish the Eagles could do that. I wish they could do that and come out strong in the first half and then just ease off the gas in the second. Give us a nice coast into a win instead
maybe that's a premonition. Maybe,
Is that a sign?
Maybe that's a sign.
We're going to start hot. We're going to score 21 in the first and then just coast to the end. Nice, easy-going week.
Maybe. I don't know.
We
That
can
is
only
weird.
hope, right?
Yeah, that is weird. The soundboard made a mistake. Interesting. All right. So on that note, we're going to end the first half of the show with the sports sampler officially in the rear view mirror, but we still have another half of the show with the entertainment entree and the non-fortune cookie odd news when we return. This is the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Ready for the weekend? Happy Friday. Hi, my name's Marie, and I'm an artist who's been making Happy Friday doodles every week for over 7 years. And now you can own my art collection in this Volume 1 and Volume 2 art series. These doodles span across multiple themes, yearly festivities, various countries, languages, and more. Both coffee table books have something for everyone and are the perfect conversation starter or gift for a friend. Really, anyone who enjoys a good weekend. Available on Amazon, Ingram, BookBaby,
Barnes & Noble,
and more. Visit happyfridaydoodles.com/books and get your copies today. Let's celebrate the best day of the week. Happy Friday.
Just a moment, you just assured me that I could speak.
Sit down inside the car. We're not assuring anything. We're under arrest.
Look, I'm under what?
Come on.
Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest. Have a look at the headlock here. See that chap over there? Get your hand off my penis! This is the bloke who got me on the penis before.
Get some cups.
Why did you do this to me?
Hop in the car. Get some cups.
For what reason? What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal? Oh, that's a nice headlock, sir. Oh, yes. I see that you know your judo well. Good one. And you, sir, are you waiting to receive my limp penis? Now, get your hands off there.
No, we've only got one
Ta-ta and farewell.
It's all right. Just get him in the car.
One cup, look. They even...
Oh, yeah, we're back here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast.
This is different music. What happened?
I could try and change it up.
Change it up? I like it.
Yeah, there you
good.
go. Yeah, why not? don't you
I don't know.
don't you poo-poo my music
No,
choices?
I'm commenting that it's
Yes.
nice. It's different.
Thank you.
You get so used to the same routine that all of a sudden I was like, what the heck is that music?
Yeah, why not? But we are done the sports sampler for right now. Yeah, the first half of the show ended with the wrong music cue. So
And different music to start the second half.
Yeah,
Different
so-
music all around.
right, how do you like that? All right, so with that in mind, let's start the second half of the show properly with the entertainment entree.
And now, the latest in movies.
The Simpson guy writes to movies. Dear Die Hard, you rock. Especially when that guy was on the roof.
Music.
I know what that is. That's music.
Video games.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
Celebrities.
You really know Warren Beatty? Yes, I do. I took a leak next to him once at the Golden Globes.
And more.
You were the all-singing, all-dancing crap of the world.
This is the entertainment entree.
All right, we're officially in entertainment entree territory, and we're going to kick it off with the segment where Mike is going to let you know what you should keep an eye out for this upcoming week with new movies, TV, and video games with Mike's This Week in Entertainment. All right, Mikey, what do you got for the people at home?
First up in movies, recent Golden Globe nominee for Best Drama, September 5th, hits theaters this week. Get a jump on award season by checking out this historical drama thriller about the American sports broadcast crew who, during the 1972 Munich Olympics, find themselves covering the hostage crisis involving the Israeli athletes. Critics are generally reacting favorably to the movie, with its scoring, it's updated since I wrote this, an 85% on Rotten Tomatoes with an average rating of 6.7 out of 10. So it's not, blowing critics away, but it did score that nomination. It might be one to check out. Once again, that's September 5th, hitting theaters this week. But if that sounds a little too heavy for you, you can also check out Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim. I'm very excited for this. It is an animated film set 200 years before the trilogy and tells the story of a daring last stand in an ancient stronghold as a lord's daughter must lead a resistance against their enemies. And Rich, it stars your buddy Brian Cox as the voice of Lord Helm Hammerhand.
Oh, F off. Does he have any of those lines?
He might, yeah.
Does he have any lines like this?
You bust him here, guns in hand, and now you find they've turned to fucking sausages.
Yeah, does he talk about
I mean,
sausages?
it is about a siege and busting in there, so I don't know, maybe. But he gives the voice for Lord Helm Hammerhand. That's pretty badass. So, yeah, go check that one out as well. But if both of those movies seem like a little too much, you can always dumb it way down and check out Kraven the Hunter.
Oh, I forgot about this.
It is Sony's final Spider-Man-less Spider-Man movie. They're officially giving up on the No Spider-Man universe. They said that all their future projects will involve Spider-Man. So I think that the villain universe is donezo, thankfully.
Yeah. It only took them, 5 movies?
No, more. Yeah, 5. It was 3 Venoms. No, 6. 3 Venoms, Madam Web, Morbius, and Kraven the Hunter.
Oh, I forgot about Morbius.
It's Morbin time.
Oh, thank God.
To my credit, I've only seen Venom 1 and Venom 2.
All right.
Only.
Thank God.
Anyway, turning over to TV now, an animated limited series, Dream Productions, comes to Disney Plus this week. This is Pixar's first TV series, and it's a spin-off of the hit movie Inside Out. It is a mockumentary-style show, still set inside the mind of Riley from the movies, and focuses on the studio in her mind where dreams, daydreams, and nightmares are created. The entire series is 80-some minutes, spread over about 4 episodes. Just go check it out. It's shorter than a whole movie. That is Dream Productions coming to Disney Plus. And finally, in video games, the Game Awards airs this week. Go check that out. Coverage starts Thursday. There's always some good announcements and reveals and updates in the show about what to look forward to in 2025. So if you're a big fan of games, definitely go check that out. If you're looking for a new game to play, though, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle comes as a timed exclusive to Xbox and PC, with the PlayStation release coming in spring of 25. Bad title aside, this first-person action-adventure game is getting tons of critical praise. It's got an 87 out of 100 on Metacritic. Players assume the role of Indiana Jones as he punches Nazis, explores ruins, solves puzzles, and you can also use his trusty whip as both a weapon and a traversal tool. People are saying it's basically like Uncharted meets Dishonored, if you've ever played the Dishonored games.
Yes.
So it's kind of like a combination of those two franchises, which sounds perfect to me.
Yeah.
So I will be checking that out in spring, but if you're on Xbox, you can check it out this week. That's what we're looking forward to this week in entertainment.
All right, Mikey, thank you for that segment this week in entertainment. All right. Boy, we're just covering all the major film franchises here because now we've got an update with Marvel. What's happening here?
Yeah, so we have some pretty big news breaking today out of the MCU. Chris Evans, who famously starred as Captain America in the first 3 phases of the MCU, is officially returning to the MCU in Avengers Doomsday. His role is unspecified. There's been no news about what his role is going to be. It's very under wraps. The movie, of course, comes out in 2026, so I expect that they're going to want to keep a very tight lid on that until, as close to release as possible. I'm amazed that the announcement even got out that he was going to be in the movie. That they didn't want to keep it more tightly wrapped. But I figure, maybe they're thinking, give them some breadcrumbs now so people aren't, give them like the big headline, but keep the actual, information secret. But maybe we should play some spoiler warnings because I feel like we got to talk about some stuff here.
You got some spoiler news here?
Potentially, yeah, just in general conversation.
It's a spoiler! Ooh, it's a spoiler! Don't listen! Go away!
So I figured we'd play the spoiler music for both previous Avengers movies.
And I love the spoiler sound.
And you love the spoiler sound. But also Deadpool and Wolverine, because Chris Evans did recently come back to the MCU, but not in an expected way. So his last main cast appearance was obviously in Avengers Endgame as Captain America / old Steve Rogers.
Old man.
Old man Steve Rogers. Which is where we kind of left Captain America, but he did briefly come back in Deadpool and Wolverine as Johnny Storm / the Human Torch, which famously was his first superhero role in the Fantastic Four under Fox. So, the logical conclusion to this is that Chris Evans will probably not be back as Captain America.
Right. Because
I feel like that would be a huge slap in the face to the legacy of Endgame and to fans.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that'd be insane. So, obviously, I don't think he's not going to be Johnny Storm or the Human Torch either. That is also that was a joke bit.
Right.
That's not going to be like, oh, this is how he's actually going to be. Like, no, don't expect that either. I think what we're going to see, what some sites are suggesting, is obviously the Doomsday arc is dealing with a lot of variants. And there's a variant in the Marvel universe called Hydra Supreme, which is basically a Hydra version of Captain America. So...
Uh-oh.
Yeah, uh-oh. Uh-oh is right. But they also teased this in, I think it was Endgame or... I can't remember if it was Infinity War or Endgame, where he was in the elevator and he goes, who whispers, "Hail Hydra."
Right.
There's that little nod there. There's like, oh, there's that other, in the comics, that like dark version of Captain America who actually does work for Hydra. So, I mean, what do you think about that possibility of, do you think that's too much if we get Robert Downey Jr. as a villain?
Yeah.
Chris Evans as a villain. What do they also bring back?
Yeah, you're gonna bring everybody else.
What's
this right?
Why can't I remember her name now? Scarlett Johansson as a villain. Like, like,
is it like the old Avengers versus new Avengers?
I did kind of have that thought. I don't know if you remember, like months and months ago, where there was like a rumor. They're like, oh, Marvel's thinking about a way to bring back the old Avengers, and I was like, variants. I was like, they could do a thing where they bring back everybody as like variants or like some kind of like alternate version of their previous incarnations. Is that what we're seeing? Is that too on the nose?
It could be. Because I mean, for all these guys, does it really matter who they play as long as they're in the movie?
I mean, what do you mean?
Like, do the actors care?
Oh no, the actors don't care. But I mean,
it's just they get a chance to be in a movie again.
They get a chance to be in a movie. But as fans, is that too much? Is that a step too far?
It might get a little too wonky, get a little too crazy.
Yeah, like I thought the Robert Downey Jr. thing was cool because I could see how they could, play it off as like the new Avengers, like, oh my God, like we saw you die, what's going on? And then like, oh, surprise, I'm actually Dr. Doom, I'm a variant. But like if they do that again, it's giving,
it's like is every member of the original Avengers going to be a spinoff?
You know what it's giving me? It's giving me Westworld. What? You're a robot too? No way!
Yeah.
Like after a certain point in that show, I'm like, guys, they're all going to be robots.
Oh no! We suck again!
Yeah.
I didn't mean to take a random pot shot at Westworld, but that's what it reminded me of. It's like you pull the mask off like 7 times. It's like, oh my God! It's like,
Yeah.
That's my worry, is that it becomes too like hammy. You know?
It sounds very. I hate to say this. It sounds very pro wrestling-y. Because literally there was
pull off the mask and it's like, oh my God, it's this guy.
There was recently a storyline in WWE where Roman Reigns was leading a faction called the Bloodline, and then he actually legit, I think, suffered an injury and he needed some time off. So they had like somebody else lead the Bloodline, and then like he went. I mean, the Bloodline was always an evil faction, but he went like more evil. And then when Roman Reigns came back, he's like, I'm the true leader of the Bloodline. And then in Survivor Series, they had the old Bloodline versus the new Bloodline. It's like, okay, that's a little...
Yeah, like could we see like Avengers versus like Dark Avengers or something like that?
The old Avengers versus the new Avengers, like...
but by old, they all just come out with walkers and canes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope they don't... I mean, I think that's what they're going to do. Because Chris Evans reprising his role as Captain America would absolutely be insane.
Yeah.
That would be a slap in the face to fans. It'd be a slap in the face to Anthony Mackie, who's now new Captain America, right? As Falcon Man. Falcon America?
Captain Falcon.
American Falcon. So he's not going to be Captain America. Like, fans just immediately like need to get that out of their mind. It's not going to be Captain America. So that only leaves so many possibilities. It's cameo, which you don't do an announcement for a cameo.
No.
You're like, hey, guess what? He's coming back.
Right.
For like a 13-second bit.
Right.
No, also not a cameo.
No.
Not Human Torch, because that was a bit in Deadpool. And people who saw Deadpool are going to be like, oh, this is a joke again. Oh, wait, no, it's not a joke. It's for real. But also they have a new Human Torch now. It's not Human Torch. That only leaves one possibility.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting.
Because you can't.
There's a lot of ifs going into this movie.
Yeah. There's a lot riding on Doomsday, isn't there?
Yeah.
Like secretly, like behind the scenes at Marvel, there's been rumors that like things are not going as well as they expected. They had a couple of misses in a row. They're trying to dial back the number of releases. A lot is riding on Doomsday to kind of like wrap up that wayward Phase 4, Phase 5 era and kind of like put a bow on it.
Yeah. Because right now, the only thing I think that has been a hit has been like Deadpool and Agatha all along.
Yeah. And in terms of movies, I think Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness was pretty good.
Yeah, that was good, yeah.
But like Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was fun. But a lot of these movies, I'm like, I don't understand why.
Yeah, why is this needed?
Or where. Like, I think back to like Ant-Man Quantumania. I think Thor Love and Thunder. Like, I'm sitting in the theater, I'm like, what is going on and why is this happening?
Yeah.
You know?
We could get to some pretty dicey territory if Doomsday doesn't work out.
Yeah, I have very high hopes for Doomsday just because of the way the release schedule's lined up with Doomsday, then Spider-Man, then they have Secret Wars. I think they got some big things planned there between those 3 movies, like angling Spider-Man to be part of like a new Avengers kind of thing. It could be really good, but they got to land Doomsday first. And I think part of the strategy is make it comfortable for old-time fans seeing Robert Downey Jr. instead of like some random new hero, you know? Like old fans, like, we don't want to see, you know, these newfangled guys. We want the classic guys. So they went and they got Robert Downey Jr. They went and they got Chris Evans. I wouldn't be surprised if there's more returning cast members.
Okay.
That's my theory.
And then it'll be new Avengers versus old Avengers.
I mean, there literally was a new Avengers, but not the way that I think that the MCU is doing it right now.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. That is our entertainment entree topic for right now, but we need to leave that realm and go to our third and final portion of the show, the non-fortune cookie odd news.
We've been talking about cool and its ramifications and how it applies to the hip scene. But maybe you could give us some examples now of the opposite of cool, uncool. Just exactly what is uncool?
My nipples look like milk duds.
Holy shnikes.
It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
It's not of this world. I don't know exactly what it is or what it's doing, but this is not human intelligence, okay? It's not human intelligence we're facing!
How you doing? Me? I'm doing great.
Manda bastards. I don't make this stuff up.
I'll take a pound of nuts.
That's a lot of nuts! That'll be $4, baby! You want fries with that?
I seen the celery dance across the baseball fields.
You had me at meat tornado.
No, go past this part. In fact, never play this again.
Okay. What does that mean?
And now it's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
So sit back, get everything you need to get from the kitchen. Be sure and empty the bladders. Go to the bathroom because you're in for a hell of a ride.
Odd news.
That's right, everyone. It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news here in this segment. Rich researches the news, he reads the news, and I react to the news. He finds a weird and wacky story and keeps it hidden from me, which ensures that all of my reactions are my genuine gut reactions to hearing this story for the very first time. I don't know what's about to happen. You guys don't know what's about to happen. And even Rich doesn't know what's about to happen because these stories always take us down wacky and wild paths. And I'm ready to get started. Where are we heading to?
I have a quick update for you.
Oh, okay.
Going to Russia.
Oh, okay. I know. I just always like it when we go to Russia.
Yep. It's an update on the Ministry of Sex proposal.
Oh, that's right. All of the proposals to, you know, have Russian families have more babies.
Yes. So if you want the full story, make sure you go back a couple podcast episodes back. We talked about
I remember there
the proposed Ministry of Sex that might happen.
They had all these incentives, like you get a free gift from Putin.
Yep.
Putin gets a turn in the wedding bed, like all these crazy stuff.
Yep. Well, it's not formally set up, but I think it may have taken a step forward recently. First off, President Vladimir Putin has officially called for Russian families to have 3 or more children.
Oh my God, that's so many kids.
Yep. So that's his goal.
The baseline is 3?
Yes. Yeah.
Guys, in 2024, 25, 3 kids is a lot of kids.
Yeah, that's a lot. I don't like being outnumbered.
No, you can't be outnumbered.
I don't like that. Yeah.
That is absolutely essential. You cannot be outnumbered.
Yeah. So, that would be a lot.
Like, he can't just start like everybody have at least 1 kid. He's like, no, 3 minimum.
I would like you to have 3, comrade.
That's a lot.
Yep.
How many scented candles is he going to give as gifts?
Well,
because they all get the free gift, right? If they plop out a kid.
Well, here is the most recent development. Putin has authorized 11 Russian regions in 2025 to give $1,000, a $1,000 bonus starting next year for all women who give birth ages 18 to 25.
Wait, what? Wait, time out. There's so much weird with this.
Yes.
$1,000? That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Absolutely not worth it.
That is it.
I don't know how much kids cost in Russia, but in the U.S., you need like an extra full-time job to afford a kid, basically.
Yeah.
So $1,000, just saying, you got to at least You got to break 5 digits to make it worth it to shoot out a kid if you're not already thinking of having one.
Yeah.
Point the second. The age range. Why is that so creepy to me?
Because, they want you to start young. They want you to get 3 kids.
You got to get that's
so
true.
you got to start young. You got to start early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so bizarre, though. I think it's just a weird fetish for Putin.
It might.
I mean, part of it is just.
There's probably some enjoyment out of this. Yeah.
Oh, there absolutely is.
So
only the
18 to 25. Yeah. Wow. Sorry, you have to be in that window.
26, you're dead.
You're dead.
You're dead. To Putin, you're dead. You ain't worth nothing.
You're you're old grandma. You go in kitchen. You stay there and cook.
Is 26 is basically grandma. You go to gulag. Think about what you've done. What did I do? I aged. Yes, it's not good for Mother Russia.
Yes, you did not pop out adequate unit.
You go mine in Siberia now.
Well, funny you mentioned Siberia because
if you don't have 3 kids, you go to Siberia.
No, the regions that are expanding the program are Siberian regions, Tomsk and Altai regions.
Ah, of course.
They are the 2 new ones that are being added to this Russian region proposal that Putin will sign. And it will become effective January 1st, 2025. So don't have your baby before then. Have your baby after January.
Right, exactly.
If you do it before, it doesn't count. Sorry. Try again.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
This region, this Tomsk region, is literally in the middle of absolute nowhere. There's like one road. You need to provide way more than $1,000 for people to be having kids. Yikes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So there's that. This is just weird as well. The bill also mentions that stillborn births do not qualify.
That just got so dark.
I don't know
what.
I don't know why.
World.
I don't know why that had to be mentioned.
That went from light and airy to like what?
This is Russian humor. You better enjoy, Mike.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I don't know why that had to be mentioned explicitly in the bill, but there you go.
I guess they don't want to. Oh man. I mean, yeah. I guess they don't want to have to give out money if. The goal is to have
soldiers. The goal,
soldiers, right?
Yeah, the whole point is
living
soldiers.
Russian population.
Yeah.
So, like, I get it, but like, damn, that's dark.
Yeah. And also, Putin in the report that this is going out to also has noted that anyone that promotes a child-free lifestyle, they are promoting extremist ideology.
Okay.
So,
all right, then.
This Ministry of Sex is inching closer and closer. This might happen.
They need better incentives.
Yeah.
Than potential imprisonment and $1,000.
Yeah.
That's just not cutting.
Well, we came up with the potential. We didn't. There's no official thing on the record.
Yeah.
I mean, just
on the record.
On the record.
But off the record, you definitely go into gulag. You eating nothing but potato.
You did not pump out 3 children. You go to gulag.
You go to gulag.
You stay in kitchen. You cook.
You have baby in gulag. That got even darker.
This cannot be made good. It's shameful. It's a shameful, shameful day.
So there's your update.
Yeah, all I'm saying is it's a slippery slope out there in Russia and Siberia.
Yeah, so there's your update. It's inching closer and closer. It might happen. An official Ministry of Sex.
That is absolutely terrifying.
And this is on Putin's mind. He gave a press release on this.
He's been thinking a lot about it.
Yeah.
Like too much about it.
I mean, I don't know. He is losing soldiers with the war in Ukraine. I don't know. Maybe it's...
Yeah, but like they're not going to be ready for like. Well, I mean, I guess Russia will probably force them to join the military at like 12. But like, you still got at least.
No, we start at 7.
We start.
You know ABC. You go. Can you count? Can you count 1, 2, 3?
If you
can you count 6 shooter? You go over there.
If you can read, you can load the gun. Get out there.
Can you count 6 bullets? You go. Can you go over there? 1, 2. Oh, I shot 2. How many left?
How many left?
Oh, Ralph, go in the...
Baby's first gun.
Ralph, go in the commissary. Just stay there.
Ralph?
I don't know. just imagine like Ralph from The Simpsons. I'm in danger.
That is basically Russia's fighting forces in about
5 years.
In about 5 to 8 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in danger. Oh
Yeah.
man, it must suck to be in Russia.
So there you go. Yeah, that Ministry of Sex. Yeah, it
Damn.
might be happening because Putin's got it on the mind.
Yikes.
All right. How about we get to some more traditional odd news then?
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's get away from the darkness of Russia. In this one, we are going to Minnesota. So still
wow.
cold. Still cold.
Still a winter tundra, yeah.
Yeah, but slightly a little more upbeat. Let's go with that.
All right.
We're going to follow the case of 30-year-old Vanessa Guerra. Yeah, what a name, Vanessa Guerra.
Okay.
So allegedly, she was accused of stealing a van and selling it for scrap. So
Okay,
they're
that's
not good.
not a good way to start things off. No.
Yeah. But investigators allege that 30-year-old Vanessa Guerra made a written admission of guilt because they went through her things and found her journal in which she wrote, quote, "I totally stole a car today."
Oh, good for you.
What an entry.
Dear Diary. Grand Theft Auto is a fun game and also a fun real-life pastime. You won't believe what I just did. So naughty. Heart. I stole a van.
Spray it with a little perfume.
Spray it. Tss, tss, yeah.
Until next time, diary.
Hugs and kisses. She wrote it in her journal.
Yep.
Is that really journal worthy?
I-
Like your crimes?
Ooh.
Like today, I committed the following crimes: Grand Theft Auto, shoplifting. Like it's just you just list everything.
Yeah. Ooh, it feels good. Ooh. I gotta share it with somebody. I'll share it with my journal.
But I gotta know though, like, how did she write about it? Did she just write, "I just stole a car," or did she like elaborate? Like what did she write?
All right. So let's do the official timeline here. So first off, this van is not cream of the crop here. It's only worth $2,000 according to police.
Yikes.
She brought it to Blue Earth County Scrap next to Mankato. I'm assuming those are locations in Minnesota.
Who knows?
Yeah, I feel like I'm talking alien language here.
Mankato? I don't know.
Blue Earth County? Is that like a? Is that an actual
the name
county?
of the county? Like Montgomery County, Chester County, like
Blue Earth County Scrap. That's the name of the scrap. I don't know if is that the county that it resides in, Blue Earth County, as opposed to Red Earth. Like what?
It's a place, Blue Earth County.
Oh
That's
my
so
gosh.
bizarre.
What weird names are
They
happening?
have 70,000 people there. And that is the county seat, Mankato, I'll have you know.
Oh man,
That's big time right there.
Wow. Okay, so she's actually bigger than we thought. Yeah, she brought it to Blue Earth County Scrap and sold it to them. The cops were able to match it up to her journal, in which she wrote, quote, "Totally stole a car today. I'm fucking super freaking out about it."
Well, at least she admits that, it's a weird thing.
Oh, now you fucked up. You have fucked up now.
I also just realized I cursed in that. Sorry about that.
Yeah, you did.
Sorry. I'm going.
We're supposed to be PG-13.
Sorry, I was going by the journal entry.
You were feeling it though.
I was trying to put myself in her shoes.
Right,
Ooh.
exactly.
Yeah. So sorry about that. I dropped the F-bomb. Sorry. Yeah. So she.
I like the fact that she admits though that she's freaking out about it.
Yeah.
But she like admits it in handwritten text
or she just so excited about it.
Oh, like freaking out, like, oh, I'm excited about
like
it.
when I ask a guy out, ooh, I'm so excited about it. I'm freaking out about it. I asked this guy out. Like,
And
is it
maybe that way? Maybe that way. Yeah.
I mean, if she's actually writing like a 17-year-old in her journal or something, 14. I
yeah.
don't know,
Also,
when do
didn't you
girls
say
write
she's
journals? I
like
don't know.
30?
Yeah,
So
she's
she's
30.
writing like a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Right?
Is it all pink? Is it like
with little hearts on the eyes,
Right.
and like hugs and kisses and doodles and everything? I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, when I was young, I wanted to journal, but I never did.
You know, it's funny. There's got to be like two different styles of journaling. Like the girls do that fluffy pink one, and they're like, "Oh my god, the boys," and all this stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever girls write about.
Whatever teenage girls write about. I don't
And then
know.
like I guess like guys, it's like you got to like do like the leather journaling, like went into the woods or something. I don't know.
Today I went into the woods.
Yeah.
I ate a piece of bark
Yeah.
because I'm a man.
Yeah. Right. Like,
I got back in my truck and I drove my truck down truck roads. Truck.
Every word is truck.
That's what I imagine. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I drive a Hyundai Sonata. What do you want from me?
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like to drive a truck.
It's not all it's cracked up to be.
You do a lot of truck driving in your time?
I've done some. It's fine.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. The best part is that they brought Guerra in to ask her about the stolen van, in which she denied knowing that the vehicle was stolen until they asked her about the journal.
And then she's like, "Yep, yeah, I stole it."
Yeah, you got me there. Yeah,
got her.
Damn it!
So close.
I was so close to getting away with it.
I just didn't leave a written record of my crime. So foiled again by my passion for journaling. Like, come on. You wrote down all your crimes. And you're like, oh, how'd they figure it out? Plot twist.
The cops can read. I didn't know that.
I wasn't counting on them being able to read. Thought only I could do that. I also, for some reason, now that we're going off on this tangent, I'm imagining that she misspelled like at least half those words.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, I'm getting that vibe.
If you think stealing a van worth $2,000 is enough to commit a crime,
is journal worthy.
Yeah.
And committing the crime. Yeah.
Totally stole a car today.
Totally.
Is she from the 80s too? Totally.
Yes. That's really sad because she's technically younger than us.
Yeah. So she has pleaded guilty to misdemeanor theft. She's going to have a stay in the county jail and then be placed on probation for a year. She also has to return all the money. All the money. She made $354 from the scrap. She has to return that money.
Wait, the car was worth $2,000, but she only
driving.
scrapped it for $350?
Yeah.
Dude, that's a bad deal. What?
Dear Journal, I am not
Journal,
I am not an entrepreneur.
How to math.
I am not an entrepreneur, as you know.
$350.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And also, the judge says that he wishes her to, quote, remain law-abiding.
Wow.
I love how that's noted in this final entry in the police report.
Well,
yes, you stay straight now. You don't break the law now, see?
That's so bizarre. What's the judge supposed to say? I hope you go back to your life of crime.
Or if you do, I hope you journal it and make a best-selling book out of it.
Right, exactly.
Yes. Those are your only two paths.
I really hope you don't commit any more crimes now. You better behave yourself. Bad. I don't know.
Bad Guerra, whatever.
What's her
name? Is.
name?
What is it? Guerra.
Guerrera?
It was Vanessa Guerra.
Vanessa. Bad Vanessa.
Bad Vanessa. You listen here now, see? You gotta be good now. And, hopefully next time I see you, it'll be just friendly situations. It won't be because of the law.
No more crimes.
Yes.
Don't do
crime. Yes.
I'm glad they specified that.
Yeah, oh boy.
She's going, oh, no crimes.
Oh.
I thought you said do crimes, but you said don't crimes.
That end really makes a difference.
It really does. My whole life has totally changed now.
Dear Diary.
Yeah, Dear Diary.
I thought that I thought adults told me to commit crimes, but I made a startling revelation today.
It's because I don't know how to spell. Well, hopefully she stays on the straight and narrow.
Yeah.
And,
or that judge is going to be heartbroken.
Very disappointed.
Yeah.
Very disappointed. I'm sure she'll journal about the whole thing, though.
Yeah. Yeah, here's the thing. Does she keep the diary while she's in jail?
Does the diary go to evidence? Like, does she ever get it back? Or is it just like police custody now?
Oh, she might have to go get a new journal.
That sucks.
Yeah. Sorry.
I wish she didn't have anything like important or sentimental in there.
Yeah.
I mean, that legitimately sucks, but also don't do crime.
Yeah.
Or if you do, don't journal it.
Yeah.
You know? Do you think she starts a new journal in prison?
She's going to have to.
Like on like toilet paper?
Yeah.
Like V for Vendetta?
Yeah. Dear toilet paper.
Dear She takes it very literally. Dear toilet paper, today I pooped. Oh, that's right. You were there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, you're being so supportive.
Love Vanessa.
Love it. Yeah. Hugs and toots.
Shits and giggles. Vanessa. Vanessa.
All the different sign-offs. I love it. She just rolls it up.
Yeah. And then she just has like a bunch of rolls ready to go when she leaves.
Yeah.
Oh,
good old Vanessa.
Yeah.
With her poopy diarrhea.
Yeah. Don't keep a written record of all the crimes you committed. It's not good.
No.
All right. Well, there you go. This sounder is accurate. We are officially done the second half of the show, and therefore it's time to wrap this one up. Thank you guys for supporting our little show. If you like what you heard, make sure you go to thecrispynoodle.com. Make sure you follow us on all the social media, hubbabaloo. But most importantly, make sure you have a way to get the podcast every week. 2 main ways to do that. First one is on YouTube. Go to our YouTube page, Crispy Noodle Podcast. Hit that subscribe button so that you get the podcast sent to you every week on YouTube. But the second main way to do it is also on Spotify. We put the video podcast up on Spotify. And you can also put Spotify on in the background and listen to us as an audio-only podcast. And if you use Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, you can take us on the go with you using those apps. So if you're out and about, if you're going to swipe a $2,000 vehicle for $300 worth of scrap, you can listen to us on the go. And hopefully that'll let you know, hey, maybe you should ask for a little bit more in the scrap department.
Yeah. Still curious about that one.
Yeah.
So many ways to check out the Crispy Noodle Podcast, but if you need to get in touch with us individually to share your sports, entertainment, or odd news stories, you can find us on X, formerly known as Twitter. I'm at Mikey Costanzo, MikeyCostanzo.
And I'm at Rich Liebig, RichLiebig. Find us on X. Let us know what's happening. Any odd news, make sure it comes to me so that Mikey doesn't see it. But yeah, I think for right now, we got to wrap up this journal entry here of the Crispy Noodle Podcast.
That's right.
Yep. So we got to wrap it up. This has been the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your visions out of life and boring news. All right, that'll do it. We'll see you guys next week.
Hugs and kisses.
Hugs and kisses and shits and giggles.
Shits and giggles.
Later. Bye-bye, all you fine people. Good night.
Some of us have great stories, pretty stories that take place at lakes with boats and friends and noodle salad. A lot of people, that's their story. Good times, noodle salad.